I'm going to take another underdog. I'm going to take the Saints to win this game outright somehow. Maybe it's turnovers. Who knows? The Bears have had some really, really good turnover fortune these last few games.
You're tuned in to the Ross Tucker Football Podcast, guiding your gridiron journey, none other than your host, former NFL lineman, Ross Tucker.
Oh, yeah, it is. But it's not just any Ross Tucker Football Podcast. It is a Picks Wednesday in which I'm going to give you my pick for every game. What is it, week 7 in the NFL? It's either 6 or 7. 6, 7. I think it's week 7. I'm pretty sure. Week 7 in the NFL. And then I'll get to some news because there are some transactions from yesterday. It was a transaction Tuesday around the NFL that we'll get to. Not a lot, but a couple that are notable. But today is mainly about my picks straight up for every game week 7 in the NFL. It's big show time.
Want to know which team is going to win every single game on Sunday? Then listen up.
All right, Ross, we're going to start with a game you might know a thing or two about. The Steelers. They're traveling to Cincinnati to play the Bengals.
That's right. I will be flying to Cincinnati later today. No rest for the weary, as they say, 2 days after doing the game Monday night. Flying to Cincinnati. Actually getting a chance to see a couple of longtime friends tonight, which is great. I happen to have not one, but 2 longtime friends in Cincinnati. Very cool. One of which, by the way, is my co-founder of Go Big Recruiting. The other is my roommate when I was with the Washington Redskins, 2001, 2002, the great Alex Solfstead, whose son Gordy now plays football for Notre Dame. So very cool. And I actually met my co-founder for Go Big Recruiting at Alex's wedding. His name is Brian Kropp. So excited to see those guys. Haven't been to Cincy in a couple years. I got that game tomorrow night. Bengals, Steelers on the radio, Westwood One, if you guys are driving around. Or you can always just check it out online, westwoodonesports.com. I'll go with the Steelers, although, it wouldn't shock me at all if the Bengals won this game. There's a long track record, for whatever reason, of road teams struggling on Thursday nights, in particular in the AFC North. And Joe Flacco played really well in the second half against the Packers. If Joe Flacco picks up where he left off against Green Bay on Sunday, the Bengals have a great chance to win the game. Now, Mike Gesicki is out. Trey Hendrickson, they're saying, is day-to-day, but I would imagine with the extra time after this one that my guess is he probably wouldn't play. But we know the formula for the Bengals. It's going to be a lot of Joe Flacco, probably throwing it to T. Higgins, Jamar Chase. My guy from Princeton, Yossi Vosh, actually had a couple drops in the second half. Those were like the only incompletions for Flacco in the second half last week against Green Bay. Meanwhile, the Steelers, really impressed by watching them. Their defense has gotten better and better. They got so many edge rushers. Even Herbig looks awesome. And then on the other side, offensively, Arthur Smith done a nice job. It feels like they kind of know who they are at this point, which is highly encouraging. Speaking of which, by the way, we do have Greg Cosell, the NFL Films legend, the next couple days, who will break down all of these games, including the Thursday nighter. I'll take the Steelers. I would probably say, Jack, I don't feel great about it. I think it'll be a good competitive game. Maybe that's hopeful thinking or whatever, but I'll say 23-20. I think somehow, some way, the Steelers win a close game late, but I do think it's back and forth, pretty entertaining.
Next up is arguably the game of the day. It really depends on Puka Nakua's availability. Rams and Jaguars.
Well, I'm reading the tea leaves, and the Rams have a bye after this game. He's not going to play. I'd be very surprised. Now, we'll get the insight of the great Dr. Chow, sportsinjurycentral.com, sixscore.com, on tomorrow's Even Money Betting podcast. For those of you, I know you're not into betting, but you might end up being into the health information or prop bets or fantasy or whatever. Dr. Chow joins us every Thursday. I don't expect Puka Nacua to play. And I think that's probably the difference in the game. He's that good of a player. He makes that much of a difference for the Rams team. Jaguars, those guys play over in London every year, coming off of a loss. I'm gonna pick the upset here. I'm gonna take the Jacksonville Jaguars to take down the Rams over across the pond. I'll be curious to see how many points there are in this one, but I'll say 23-21. And yes, a lot of my scores are in that range. I'll go 23-21. Jacksonville pulls off the upset as the underdog over the LA Rams.
Got the New Orleans Saints. They're playing the Chicago Bears in Chicago.
This is a tough spot for the Bears. They've now won back-to-back thrillers. They win Monday night. It's a short week. They're playing a lesser opponent. We're going to find out a lot about the maturity of this Bears team based on how they perform in this one. Meanwhile, the Saints, Drake May played awesome, and the Saints were still right there. This is another one I feel like I could go either way on, Jack, and I'm going to take another underdog. I'm going to take the Saints to win this game outright somehow. Maybe it's turnovers. Who knows? The Bears have had some really, really good turnover fortune these last few games. I'm going to guess that doesn't happen in this game and that the Saints come marching into Chicago and pull off an upset. I'm upset happy already today. So let's go with the Saints winning. I'm trying to think how many points I think there will be. I don't think there will be a ton. I think it's 19-17. Spencer Rattler gets his first road win in the NFL in Chicago.
Got the Bernie Kosar Bowl. The Dolphins, they're at the Browns.
I think I knew that Bernie played for the Dolphins, but I don't really remember that. And if he did, he would have just been Marino's backup, right?
He was just the backup. It's like one of those things, it's like familiar faces in strange places. Like,
have you ever seen Dan Marino, like highlights of him, Jack?
yes, I have.
I don't know why, but I still don't know that I've ever seen a guy throw a football like him. I mean, it was like beautiful. It was absolutely beautiful, like the quickest release ever, the most perfect spiral. It was phenomenal. And I don't know what to think of the Dolphins right now. I guess with Tua's public comments, they could rally behind that. This sounds bad, but I kind of feel like, they've kept playing. I give credit to the leaders of their team. They've lost these heartbreakers to Buffalo and to Carolina and to the Chargers, and they just keep playing, which is impressive. But I wonder when they're going to break. It feels like the Dolphins are going to break at some point. I don't know if that's now or later. I think the Browns get this win, actually. I think the Browns, this is also an underdog. No, I'm sorry. The Browns are favored. I didn't realize that. Browns are favored. I think rightfully so. I think the Browns get win number 2 and things start to get even uglier for the Miami Dolphins. I don't think there's a ton of points in this one, but I'll say 20-19. The Browns get this win, win number 2 for Kevin Stefanski and company.
AFC West battle here at the Chiefs hosting the Las Vegas Raiders.
Well, those of you that listen or watch youtube.com/Ross Tucker NFL, you heard how Steve Fezzik on the Even Money podcast feels about the Chiefs. Even though they're 3-3, he has them as his number 1 ranked team. Now, I'm not going to go that high, but I certainly also feel like the Chiefs are coming. And remember, they're getting Rashee Rice off of suspension for this game. I don't know if they'll ease him back or what, but the point is the Chiefs look very, very poised to go on a run here and be a special team. The Raiders got to win, And Max Crosby was phenomenal as usual against the Titans, but I have a tough time picturing them coming to Kansas City and getting this win the way the Chiefs have been playing. I think this one is more like, I'm going to say 30-17. The Chiefs win 30-17, kind of going away. I think that's the exact same score as Sunday night against the Lions.
The Philadelphia Eagles, they're back in action on the road in Minnesota playing the Vikings.
This is a tough game to pick on a Wednesday morning. You know, there's a lot of injury information we don't know about. For example, number one, Quinyon Mitchell and Jalen Carter, two of the Eagles' three best defensive players. Their O-line. You know, we certainly don't know who the quarterback is for the Vikings. I have my sneaky suspicion that it'll be Carson Wentz. I don't think guys like Kevin O'Connell like to make a quarterback change when the quarterback's playing pretty well and they're coming off a win like the Vikings are. So I don't know that he's going to make that change, but he could. I think it'll be Wentz. And I think this is a hotly contested game. I really don't know what to expect. Vikings coming off of a bye. The Eagles coming off, the Thursday night game. You'd think it's like a mini bye for them. They'd make some changes. They need to do something because it's not been good over the last 5 quarters in Philly. I guess I just have to show faith in the Eagles. With that talent, with the leadership they've shown in recent years. I mean, they won the Super Bowl last year for a reason with this group. I'll take the Eagles to figure things out in this one and get it done. 26-23, a little more points than you might expect. 26-23 Birds. Don't go anywhere. Got to pay some bills real quick. I know for a fact some of you are like me and you've thought about getting a new shower or a new tub or a new bathroom or a new door, but you're like, I don't feel like it. I don't have the time. You do have the time. They come to your house. Every time I've done a project with West Shore Home, they've come to our house on our time, which for my wife is like 8 o'clock at night. She doesn't get home from work till 6:30. Right now, you can get a new shower installed by Thanksgiving or the entire project is free. Now that's a 1-week flash sale, so it ends Saturday. So take advantage of it. Go to westshorehome.com/Ross because you're getting free installation on all projects. Plus you save an extra $500 now by scheduling at westshorehome.com/Ross. westshorehome.com/Ross. Rewards.labattusa.com. 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 Yo, rewards.labattusa.com. Yo, man, rewards.labattusa.com. Yo, you should check out rewards.labattusa.com. You should totally check out rewards.labattusa.com for sure.
Got the Carolina Panthers. They're traveling to New York, technically New Jersey, to play the Jets.
Technically New Jersey. Your cadence cracks me up sometimes.
Well, I had to go a little longer than I thought because you started drinking the water, so I had to fill time.
Oh, right. I've given Jack the heads up that if he ever sees that I need like a sip of water because I talk so much on the show, that, to like give me a breather. So that was, okay, that's why, I wasn't even thinking about it. That's why you did it?
Yeah, because I was like, all right, I need an extra second or two here.
He needs to finish drinking his water. So technically New Jersey. That might be a thing now on the show. Technically New Jersey. Oh, man, that's good stuff. Okay, so I'll take Carolina. I mean, the Jets are going to win a game. And a home game against Carolina would be a really good time for the Jets to win that first game. And I wouldn't be surprised if they did. But remember, when I make my picks on this show, and any show for that matter, This is based on what I think is most likely to happen. This is based on if you're in some pool at work or with your buddies, or if you make bets based on who I think wins these games straight up somehow. I think the Panthers are more likely to win the game than the Jets. The Panthers are 3-3. They're playing better on the offensive side of the ball. They kind of figured something out with Rico Dowdle. Now, I think Rico Dowdle will come back to earth a little bit after 2 huge games, including against his former team, the Cowboys. And I think the Jets won't screw things up as much as they did at the end of the half and the end of the game against in the game in London against the Broncos. So I think there's a great chance the Jets win the game. But that I'm not picking that to happen. I don't think that's the most likely scenario in my mind. I think most likely is that the Panthers win. And I think it's a lower scoring game. The Jets defense was better last game, but I just have more faith in them late. Let's call it 17-16. Bryce Young and the Panthers get to a winning record, 4-3. Wow.
Titans with their first game the Mike McCoy era hosting the New England Patriots.
Well, we know history tells us that teams get a boost when they fire a coach sometimes. They get kind of the interim head coach boost, whether it's like a breath of fresh air or a sigh of relief, or, the pressure's kind of off, the tension in the building. That the coaching change has been made. The new coach comes in, changes some things. The guys go out there and they play free and clear. All of that I'd feel better about for the Titans if they were playing a team that's not playing as well as the Patriots right now. Drake May is just playing at such high of a level. We talked about that last week. We posted about that when we were talking about the West Shore Home, westshorehome.com/Ross, most improved team of the week, which we post on social media at Ross Tucker Pod, at Ross Tucker NFL. So I got to take the Patriots to get to 5-2 and stay in first place in the AFC East. Wow. As I said on social media, Jack, I'm sure you saw it. Well, you better have, because you have notifications on. It feels like the Patriots fans had to wait a whole 5 years in between clear-cut top 10 franchise quarterbacks. Those poor babies. I mean, it must have been horrible, to be a 35-year-old and for the first 5 years of your life, you don't remember having an awesome quarterback, and now you do again. Drake May and the Pats get the win. 27-20? I don't know if I can pick the Titans to score 20 points. 27-16. He's the Drake, baby.
New York Giants are at the Denver Broncos.
Now, what's the term? Do you ever watch Seinfeld, Jack?
Occasionally. I've never watched the full series back to front, but I mean,
have you ever watched the Drake episode?
I don't think so.
Everybody loves the Drake. He's the Drake. Everybody loves it. I think that's the line. At any rate, what's the game?
Giants at Broncos.
I like the Broncos, although this is a tough spot for them. I mean, they're clearly the better team, but the Giants have some mojo, some momentum. The Broncos just had to play on a Sunday in London, fly all the way back to Denver. The Giants had the weekend off, extra time to rest and prepare, and the Giants are feeling themselves a little bit with Scadaboo and Dart and these young guns. This is a dangerous game for the Broncos. I think it comes down to the very end. I think that they pull it off, but this is a dangerous game. 19-17. The Broncos get it done, but wouldn't be surprised. They need to be on upset alert. Wouldn't be surprised at all if the Giants go out there to Denver and get it done.
The Colts, they're at the LA Chargers.
Ooh, this is a juicy matchup. Chargers have kind of been figuring things out with Justin Herbert getting it done in this last game, but the Colts are a machine. Absolute machine. I don't like that. I'm assuming Charvarius Ward is out for the Colts after a second concussion. I don't like that. That hurts them, but I'm not picking against the Colts hardly at all. There's not much of a home field advantage for the Chargers. In fact, there might be more Colts fans there. Give me Indy to keep it rolling. I guess this is another upset, so I've been picking a lot of upsets for you guys. I like Indy to win it pretty much the same score as last week for the Chargers, just the other way around. I think this is a fun game. I'm going to say 31-30 Colts in one of the most entertaining games of the week.
Green Bay Packers, they're at the Arizona Cardinals.
Well, again, this is another one where we don't know who the quarterback will be for the Cardinals. I am suspecting that it will be Jacoby Brissett because he played very well, gave the Cardinals a chance to win, and they're going to say that they want to try to make sure that Kyler is 100% before they put him back out there. The fact that it doesn't feel like it makes that much of a difference, whether it's Kyler Murray or Jacoby Brissett, is not a good look for Kyler Murray. I think we can all agree on that. I think the Packers win the game. You know, the Cardinals, though, Brissett's going to give them a competitive game. Ultimately, the Packers are just better. And a once promising season for the Cardinals, they were 2-0, has gone totally the wrong way. And they're going to fall to 2-5, I think, after this game, as the Packers get this win. Jordan Love looked good. Jacobs looked good. I'll take the Packers in a good game, probably similar to that Indy game last week. How about 27-26? Packers pull it out late.
Got an NFC East battle here. The Commanders at the Dallas Cowboys. It's
especially, is Ross Tucker Bowl. Started 2 of those games. I think the first game I might have ever gotten action in was a Cowboys-Commanders game for the Redskins. And then I started 2 games the next year for the Cowboys against the Redskins. Very intense, very cool rivalry. This is an interesting game because the Commanders coming off a tough loss Monday night on the road. The Cowboys have a real deficit defensively. I think this is going to be, I take back what I just said about the last game. I think this might be the most points of the weekend. How about 35-34? This time the Commanders get it done late. But I don't know, man. This is like last team to have the ball. 35-34 Commanders.
San Francisco 49ers, they're hosting the Atlanta Falcons.
Could go either way here. Niners are pretty beat up, but I'm going to take them with the Falcons on a short week going to the West Coast. But this is a coin flip game. I'll say 23-20 Niners, but the Falcons looked awfully good Monday night, and they're healthier.
Tampa Bay Buccaneers are at the Detroit Lions.
Monday Night Football, what an epic, epic game. No Brian Branch, although we haven't heard yet that I saw on his appeal of his suspension. They're not going to overturn that. He's going to miss this game. They want to make a point that you can't do that. Big game for him to miss. The Bucs are all beat up at receiver. Whew. You know, this is the way the NFL works. Bucs have been on a roll here in these close games. Lions coming off a loss. Lions bounce back and get the win just because that's the way the NFL happens. And the Lions get it done 24-20. The Bucs Baker late game magic wears off a little bit. 24-20 Lions.
Houston Texans are at the Seattle Seahawks.
So Texans are coming off a bye. Seahawks were on the road in Jacksonville. Seahawks, for some unknown reason, not as good at home. Although I got to think a 10 o'clock game Eastern, so that's 7 o'clock local time. They don't get games like that out there. So those people should be lubed up. It should be loud. I think I like the Seahawks to win a home game against a Texans team that's going to be game. This should be a fun one. Could go either way. I think I'll take the Seahawks to win it, though. 20-17. Both defenses are pretty darn good. 20-17 Seahawks obviously could easily go the other way. More great stuff right after this. I love vodka. Vodka, vodka, vodka. That's what movie is that? The Anchorman with Will Ferrell talking about scotch. I love scotch. Scotchity scotch. Anyway, I love Smirnoff. You know why? Number one reason is because they're a sponsor of the show. And so we should all support them because they're geniuses. But also, they're the world's number one vodka, an official vodka partner of the NFL, official vodka partner of this show. They've been around since 1864. Think about that. I talked about how they've been very helpful for tailgating. They do game days. Grab a bottle of Smirnoff at your local retailer and head to Smirnoff.com to find recipes of delicious cocktails perfect for game day. Please drink responsibly. Smirnoff number 21 vodka, distilled from grain, 40% alcohol by volume. The Smirnoff Company, New York, New York. Please not share with anyone under legal drinking age.
Tuck's Takes.
Got some news around the league, including the Eagles. Their edge rusher Zadarius Smith is retired.
Thought that was a little bit interesting. You know, I'm going to make that actually, Jack, my Labatt take of the week, I think. Brought to you by Labatt. With Labatt, you can buy beer and get gear. Go to their website, snap a photo of your receipt, and upload it to gain points towards exclusive merch. Any size, any product, anywhere you're buying Labatt. Sign up at rewards.labattusa.com. This is now two guys that were getting playing time that just out of nowhere elected to retire. I think Xavier Howard in Indy maybe just wasn't playing up to his standard and didn't want to feel like he was letting down his teammates and not playing to that standard. I think Zadarius Smith had the weekend off and was with his family and liked it and didn't want to have to go back. It is noteworthy, if you play 3 games in a season, it counts as a year for all of your benefits. So those guys just racked up another year of their pension, annuity, 401k, health savings account, severance, all those things. So maybe that was all they wanted, was just to get another year, and they're out.
Next up, the Commanders. They signed edge rusher Drake Jackson.
Well, yeah, some of these other transactions aren't that noteworthy. The Commanders signed edge rusher Drake Jackson. I mean, I don't know. He hasn't done much in a while. The Colts signed quarterback Brett Rippon to the practice squad because they put Anthony Richardson on IR, which means he's out at least 4 games. That means Riley Leonard, of all people, is a play away from being the quarterback for the number 1 ranked Indianapolis Colts in the Ross Tucker Power Rankings. So they wanted to bring somebody else in, clearly, with Richardson on IR. And then the Ravens released safety Chauncey Gardner-Johnson. They say it was a mutual decision, or maybe he asked for it because the Ravens had also traded for Gilman from the Chargers. We got Greg Cosell the next 2 days. College draft and even money for this week have already been posted. Love those of you that take advantage of any of our sponsors. I want to do videos for you. I want to send you signed autographs. WestShoreHome.com/Ross. Just get the free estimate this week, and certainly make comments on YouTube or social media at Ross Tucker NFL, at Ross Tucker Pod. Other than that, I think we're done here.
Thanks for tuning in to the Ross Tucker Football Podcast. Make sure to also check out Even Money, Fantasy Feast, and College Draft, all on the DraftKings Network, YouTube, or subscribe to the podcast on your favorite platform.
Shout out myfrontpagestory.com. You want to talk about taking advantage of a sponsor. There is no better way than myfrontpagestory.com. Have you at least thrown your email address in over there so you get the code right away and you get reminders for the holidays, Mother's Day, and Valentine's Day? Myfrontpagestory.com. Backofficescheduler.com, humanheadnyc.com. Sporticulture, Pizza Boy Brewing.